Hello, little dreamers, and welcome back. If you love stories about little animals with really, really big dreams, you are in the perfect place. And hey, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on one of our adventures. Okay, are you snuggled in tight? Good, because tonight we have such a wonderful story for you.
Our story tonight is all about a little dreamer who wanted to do way more than just wish. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked way, way up at the birds, when they're soaring so high in the sky, and just wished you could fly right up there with them? All right, let's dive right into our story. It all starts with a little raccoon who had a great big dream. Let's go meet him. What do you say? Okay, so picture this. Our story begins in what might be the warmest, coziest little studio you could ever imagine. Sunlight was just pouring through these huge windows, making all the little jars of colorful paint on the tables sparkle like a bunch of jewels. And right there, in the middle of all that color and light, lived a very, very special raccoon. His name was Leo. And you'd almost always see him wearing his favorite cloak, which was covered in paint stains, of course, and a little beret that was just kind of perched on his head. And let me tell you, Leo absolutely loved to paint. I mean, he'd take his brush and just whoosh, a big, bold splash of blue would go flying right across his canvas. Swish! It looked just like the sky. He was a true artist, and you could just tell his heart was bursting with joy. But even as much as he loved painting, Leo had a secret dream. It was a dream he kept deep in his heart, and it was even bigger than his biggest canvas. This dream, well, it lived way, way up high, right there among the fluffy white clouds. So, how in the world does a little raccoon's dream of the clouds even begin to take flight? Well, for Leo, it all started with some sketches in the moonlight. One night, as he was just looking up at the big, bright moon, an idea suddenly, zing, it just sparked in his mind, like a little firefly lighting up the dark. He whispered to himself, "I've got it." Oh, he was way too excited to paint now. No way. He scampered over to his long work table, which was lit by just one warm lamp, and he unrolled a huge piece of paper. Tonight was not a night for painting. Tonight was a night for creating. And just look at what he came up with. His little paws were moving so fast, sketching away with charcoal like it was magic. I mean, pages were just flying by, filled with drawings of all sorts of wonderful wings and whirring gears, and then, finally, there it was, the perfect idea, a super glider. Can you believe it? His huge dream wasn't just a wish in his head anymore. It was actually taking shape, becoming a real plan, right there on the paper under the warm glow of his lamp. You could actually see it. Okay, get ready, because here comes the really exciting part, the great rooftop test. What do you think is going to happen? So Leo worked, and he worked, and he worked, and then, finally, the big day was here. The sun was just starting to wake up, peeking over the city, and this perfect, gentle wind was blowing across the rooftops. It was absolutely the perfect day to try to fly. Leo was so ready. Okay, so first things first, he put on his cool leather flying cap and pulled his goggles down over his eyes. Check. Then, he very carefully strapped on the awesome wooden glider he had built with his own 2 paws. Check. He took one big, deep breath, and then he started to run. He was running right along the edge of the rooftop, and his little legs were just pumping, going faster and faster. And you know what? The morning wind started to catch the glider's wings. He could feel them start to pull and tug like they wanted to fly. It was really working. He got to the very, very edge of the roof. He gathered up all his courage, and with all his might, he jumped. And for just 1 second, one beautiful, amazing moment, he wasn't a raccoon at all. He was a bird. He was actually soaring through the morning air, looking down at the whole city as it was waking up. It was incredible. And then, whoosh, and a soft crunch. He landed. But don't you worry, he landed safely in a giant fluffy pile of hay that was waiting in the alley down below. A little puff of dust and hay went up all around him. So, what does this all mean? Was his big test a failure? Let's talk about what makes a dream really soar. Okay, so he landed in a pile of hay. He didn't exactly fly off into the sunrise, right? So, does that mean his dream crashed, too? Oh, no. No way. Not even a little bit. Because just a second later, Leo's little head popped right up out of the hay, and he was grinning from ear to ear. He was so happy. You see, when he got back to his workshop, he hung his beautiful wooden glider right from the ceiling, and he wasn't sad at all. In fact, he was already buzzing with new ideas, thinking about how he could make his next one even better.
And that's because Leo knew a really important secret. For an inventor, or for anyone with a big dream, every single try is important, even the ones that end in a fluffy pile of hay, because every try is just a chance to learn how to fly a little bit higher the next time.
And that's our story for tonight. If you loved Leo's adventure, please subscribe and turn on the little bell so you won't miss the next one. We'd love to see your comments too. Your encouragement is what keeps us telling these stories. This has been 5-Minute Bedtime Stories. Good night, everyone. I'm wishing you the sweetest dreams and a truly wonderful night.